dear students. So let's continue with the explanation from the part where we left. So we were discussing about gravitational force in the last class. So let's continue. Water begins to flow towards the ground as soon as we open a tap. Water in reverse flow downwards due to the force of gravity. Okay, so everything flows downwards due to the force of gravity. We are able to stand on the ground because of gravity. We are able to sit where we are sitting because of gravity. Water also begins to flow downwards because of gravity. Okay, so gravity is not a property of the earth alone. In fact, every object in the universe, whether small or large, exerts a force on every other object. This force is called gravitational force. Now, don't think that gravity is only the property of the earth. It is the property of each and every substance that is there in the universe. Okay, so like our solar system, we know that our planets, they revolve in specific orbits. So why are the planets revolving in one position only in their orbit? That is also because of gravity. Okay, so every object in the universe is affected by the gravitational force. Okay, but when we do something against gravity, we have to use a lot of energy. For example, if we are climbing up a hill, we have to use our own energy because we are doing something which is against gravity. But when we are climbing down the hill or we are climbing down the stairs, then we get less tired, right? Because we are doing something in the favor of gravity. So now let's start with another topic, that is pressure. Strong winds during a storm or a cyclone can blow away even the rooftops. We have already discussed how this happens. You also learned that winds and cyclones are caused by differences in air pressure. We already discussed that from a high pressure region to a low pressure region, wind blows. Okay. Try to push a nail into a wooden plank by its head. Head means the blunt part of the nail, not the sharp part. So can you push the blunt part of a nail into a wooden plank easily? No. Did you succeed? Now try to push the nail by its pointed end. Could you do this time? Definitely you can do. So if you try to push a nail through the pointed end, easily the nail will go inside the wooden plank. But if you try to push it through its blunt end, it is very, very difficult. Okay. Try cutting vegetables with a blunt and a sharp knife. Which is easier? Definitely with a sharp knife, isn't it? The vegetables can cut very fast when you have a sharp knife. So the force acting on a unit area of a surface is called pressure. Very, very important. What is pressure? Pressure is the force which is acting on a particular area. Unit area means a particular area of a surface. Okay, that is called pressure. So when the force is acting on a particular area, it is called pressure. So pressure will be force divided by the area on which it acts. Okay, so this formula also is very, very important. You have to remember, what is pressure? Pressure is equal to force divided by the area on which it acts. Note that the area is in the denominator in the above expression, isn't it? This is the numerator, this is the denominator, right? So force is the numerator, area is the denominator. So the smaller the area, the larger pressure on a surface for the same force, isn't it? Suppose denominator is small, numerator will be more, isn't it? If numerator is less, denominator is more. But if denominator is less, numerator will be more. So when numerator is more, pressure is more, isn't it? 2 by 1 is greater than 1 by 2, right? We know that 2 by 1 is equal to 2. But what is 1 by 2? It is 0.5 or half. Okay. So 2 by 1 is greater. Similarly, when force is greater, pressure will be greater. But when force is less, pressure is going to be less. Okay. So now you see, this is the example that I was talking about. So it is very easy to push a nail through this part, but very difficult to push the nail through the head part. Okay, the blunt part, right? So the area of the pointed end of the nail is much smaller than the head, isn't it? When you look at the pointed end of the nail, this part, when you look at this part, the area is much less compared to this part. Now this part, if you put in the plank, the area covered or the space covered by the head will be much more than the space which is getting covered by the pointed end, isn't it? The same force therefore produces a pressure sufficient to push the pointed end of the nail into the wooden plank. Now, as I told you, you had already seen in this slide, if area is less, pressure is more. So easily the nail will go, because if area is less, force is more. So when you use the sharp part of the nail to push into the wooden plank, what is going to happen in the sharp part of the nail? Listen very carefully. In the sharp part of the nail, the area is less. So the pressure applied will be more or less? Definitely more. But when you use the blunt part, the area is more. So the pressure or force that you apply, that will be less. Okay, understood? Okay. So the same force therefore produces a pressure sufficient to push the pointed end of the nail into the wooden plank. Can you explain now why shoulder bags are provided with broad straps and not thin straps? Now when you have your school bags, all of you have school bags at home. So when you have those school bags at home, you must have seen that the straps of the bag, okay, with the help of which you carry the bag, the straps of the bag of the school bag, it's quite fat. Okay? You don't have thin straps generally. So why the fat straps are given? Because area is more when you have a flat strap. So the pressure applied by the school bag will be less. Okay. So if area is more, pressure applied will be less because area is in the denominator. So when area is more, force will be less or pressure will be less. So when pressure is less, then easily you can carry the bag in your shoulder. You won't feel the pressure that much. But if you use a school bag with a very thin strap, what is going to happen? Area will be less. So the force or pressure will be more. So you will feel the load on your shoulders. Okay. So always you should carry bags with broad straps. If you have too much of things to carry, if your straps are broad, then it becomes easier for you. You won't feel the load at all. Okay. Did you understand why shoulder bags or your school bags are provided with broad straps? I repeat once again, your shoulder bags or school bags are provided with broad straps because the area is more there. Why area is more? Because the straps are broad. So the area is more. So when the area is more, the pressure or force applied will be less. So that is why you won't feel the weight and you can carry the bag very, very easily. Okay, so we'll continue